Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to the Little Reader's house. I'm the Little Reader, also known as Amanda. I'm not British, but you gotta throw an accent in there, because if you don't, you'll explode. That's my motto. And you're in my house. That's where I was going with that. So welcome to the casa. Enjoy. We got some green walls going on today. Check that out. Just like, oh, wavy and green. I've got aquamarine again. If you were here yesterday, let me tell you a little story time. If you're with it. Have a seat. Get cozy. Get comfy. Let's go. So this beautiful chunk of aquamarine was actually part of the big aquamarine crystal that was in the video yesterday. And as soon as I hit stop on the camera and put down that big aquamarine crystal on the carpet, about 1 inch away from the carpet, it flipped onto its face. And when I lifted it up, there were now 3 pieces of aquamarine that separated from the mother. And as you can see, it's still kind of, if you can see that, I'm not sure about, oh, there it is, yeah, the quality, but there's still some dust. It's like they detached 3. So that number 3, note it. So now we have more crystals, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm going to place it right down here, and we are going to inquire from Spirit what Spirit would like to talk about today. And while I do that, I invite you, beautiful soul, to take a moment to just love yourself so hard in all the ways that you need. Do you want to sit your body down? Do you want to get rested for a second? How are you feeling? How's your heart? Where are you in terms of awareness? Are you plugged into the mental realm right now? Are you multitasking or task switching, as we call it in the psychological realms? Are you centered in the heart space? Are you just on another planet, actually a 5th dimensional being who doesn't even need a phone to plug into this session? I mean, whatever it is, love yourself. This is full permission to hydrate. Grab a snack, rest, tuck yourself into bed, or get out of it, or simply be in the moment with deep belly breaths. Take a moment and just nourish you as I tune in to what's going on with Spirit. That is so funny, but I love it. Something that I learned from channeling, to all my fellow channelers out there, of whom there are many, hi, and it's probably relatable. Also for fellow readers, tarot readers out there, hello, also probably relatable. The events that happen can often be perfectly aligned with what's going on in the internal world and what the energetic transmission of wisdom coming from Spirit is communicating, almost in an allegorical or metaphorical sense. So let me explain that in explainable and understandable terms. This is an aquamarine crystal. Hello. It came off of a larger aquamarine crystal. And this is still an aquamarine crystal, even though it's separated from the whole. You see where I'm going with this? Oh, you smart cookies. So Spirit's kicking off the message with saying, that's exactly how you are, beautiful soul. You may not have any conscious remembrance that you are the creator of all life on earth. The very idea may seem preposterous to you. Or maybe it's just like, okay, sure. Prove it. The light within you, equal to the light that animates all existence. And don't you forget it. Spirit is now offering a gentle reminder that I am delighted to voice that rediscovering our divinity, which may or may not be our mission here in the third dimension, is a practice. So, when information is presented by gurus and saints, charismatic types, even artists, psychonauts who experience psychedelic substances, this information is often presented like it should be obvious. Like, beautiful soul, you're divine, okay? Like, can you just realize that, and then we all do the ascension thing, and then bada boom, bada bing, we're good. And as usual, Spirit is full of mirth at a lot of goings on here on Earth. Mirth and Earth. Someone write that down. It's a tickling experience for Spirit, because when an individual has been in that realm where they've experienced themselves as the totality of the divine, in other words, they've transcended what we call ego, or they've transcended the idea that we are separate from the divine, which we typically get from our form or the fact that we live in the realm of mind. So we feel very separate from the divine source that rests right here. When someone's transcended ego and had either a moment or a prolonged experience of enlightenment, when they start talking about it, kind of like I'm doing right now, but not exactly, it sounds so easy. And Spirit recognizes simultaneously inaccessible for those of the beautiful souls who haven't had that remembrance moment yet. So you may have heard, if you're in the mindfulness and spirituality community, things like, you are the divine, and you're just a little piece of the whole, and you have it all inside of you, and bliss and stuff, present moment and love and yada, yada. But Spirit saying all of that, accurate, as I like to abbreviate it. And yet, the remembrance is a practice. The remembrance is a process. And that's actually exactly why we're here in the third dimension, to enjoy the process. Spirit says that's an essential part of allowing the soul, which is a unique and beautiful expression of a singular aspect, like a singular color, a singular ray of light, of which there are infinite rays. The soul is a singular expression of Spirit's vastness, because it turns out Spirit likes diversity a lot. And Spirit wants that singular aspect of its many rays of light to have the opportunity for a full expression. But the full expression requires presence, and consciousness to really fully be expressed. When someone's doing their soul's work, they are present and conscious with that work. Think of great art. I'm thinking of the two. It's like God and man touching fingers. The name escapes me. Someone help me out. Think of great art. Think of great music. And when I say great, I'm not saying it's technically great, every note was hit or it achieved its purpose. Allow me to rephrase. Think of art, music, film, or even concepts, ideas, possibilities that have moved you, that have a source. They originate with a person. Maybe it's your favorite author, your favorite director. We just had the Oscars a couple of days ago. Maybe a screenwriter or performance. And when you see it, you say, oh my stars. That moved me. That is their soul's purpose, to describe that thing that they're describing, to behave that way they're behaving, to create that thing they're creating. Chef's kiss. That also, you could see, could be many things. We recognize on a heart level that when a soul is expressing itself true to its soul's purpose and calling, it is done consciously, meaning that that soul has harnessed all of the awareness that they can muster into a moment and are totally present with that, and we can feel it. Chills, potentially, as a physical symptom. Or maybe if we're very much embedded in the mental realm, all the thoughts disappear, and we can tell by the silence in our own mental realm that the degree of their presence on practicing their art, whatever that thing is, even if it's not traditional art, that degree of presence is so intense that it's contagious. And we recognize it by the quieting of our own mind. We're like, oh my goodness. So incredible that I got sucked into the present moment with them. As it turns out, presence is in fact contagious. Because in this earthen community, which we all share so wonderfully, we are still learning how to harness and take ownership of our awareness, aka become conscious. We're still learning, so we require the dimension of time, often referred to as the fourth dimension. Linear time gives every soul the ability to learn how to harness their awareness. Grab it from wherever they place it most often, very likely in the mental realm, bring it down to the heart, perhaps in the form. Maybe they're all about those physical pleasures. Shout out to my Taurus friends. Rising Taurus here. So maybe it's all about delicious food and fuzzy socks and, all the other physical pleasures that we love. Maybe we're grabbing that awareness out of the form. Whatever destination has sucked our awareness into it, linear time gives every soul the ability to take conscious control back of their awareness and say, I decide when I'm going to be in the mental realm. I decide when I'm going to be in the realm of form, in my body, feeling it. I decide when I'm going to be in the realm of heart, the infinite realm connected to all source and to my soul's purpose. Interestingly, becoming an increasingly popular destination for awareness as we continue our evolution. This is what time allows. It allows souls free will. What a new and exciting definition for free will. Free will. The ability to choose the destination of your awareness. free will, the ability to choose the destination of your awareness. You may not be able to stop yourself from a pattern. If it were a matter of willpower, no one would be addicted to anything. You'd just be like, oh, I'll just willpower myself out of this. No problem. If it was a matter of willpower, everyone would conjure up their willpower and all problems would be resolved. No, it turns out willpower isn't necessarily about manipulating the external world. It's not even about manipulating the internal world, forcing yourself to feel a certain way or not feel a certain way, forcing yourself to think a certain thing or not think a certain thing. Again, if force were the answer, and believe me, Earth has been trying on force as a solution for thousands of years, and we've created paradise. JK. If force were the answer, we would have all forced ourselves into bliss by this point. No, it turns out that force, although beautiful, glorious, and entertaining, depending on who's doing the forcing, is not the solution for expressing our soul's power, expressing our soul's beauty, expressing our soul's destiny, remembering that we are part of the whole, just as this crystal is part of a bigger piece that was on yesterday's video. No. Willpower. Let's just take that little baby and kiss it on the head and set it aside or let it fly. Off you go. Transform into a higher version of yourself. Is not the answer. Instead, it's not about forcing or manipulating the external or the internal. It's about shifting. Shifting the destination of our awareness. Shifting our awareness from the mental realm to the form. How does it feel to be in body right now? Feels great. Shifting the awareness from the form to the heart. How does it feel to be divine, to be connected to source? Whoa. Feels great. Shifting our awareness from the connection to all source, from the realm of magic and miracles, the heart, back to the mind. How does it feel to connect back to the communal mental realm again? I'd like a tool. I'd like to construct something. Let's go. Feels great. That is power. That is free will. You can take this awareness wherever you want. And there are many more realms than the ones I've just described, the big three. I just like threes. Hey, did I say remember 3? And we're back. Full circle moment. So, there are many more realms than just the big 3. But Spirit wants to acknowledge that this is a practice and this is a process. And the reason why is because the time allows for the mastery of expressing the soul to occur deeply, completely. Spirit is not a half-asser. I hope that's fine. Spirit is not out here half-assing shit. Spirit is a do it well, do it completely. There's always a wholeness. There's always an order in everything. So Spirit will not allow a single beautiful soul to half-ass the opportunity to become conscious. So we were given time. And if we run out the time clock in one version of our experience, we will get to turn the hourglass over and run out another one. And Spirit doesn't see that as a waste, because Spirit doesn't waste either. There is no waste in Spirit's life. Looking at nature is a great way to understand this concept, nature on earth, but it's true of the entire universe. There is no waste, and what we believe to be waste is often a misunderstanding or a limit in our intellectual evolution. So if we're thinking that running out the clock over the course of multiple spans of experiences is a waste, Spirit's like, I got all day and night, because I'm both of those things. I am day and night. So let's dance. So what does this mean for us? My beautiful friend. By the way, has anyone told you how beautiful you are? Okay, well, I'm telling you, you're beautiful. And I know of what I speak. What does it mean for us? It means we practice. And Spirit asks that we approach it like a dance, that we approach it like a practice meaning an ever-evolving process that allows us to become more fluid, more able, more embodied, but not with the intention of perfection, not with an end goal in mind, not with a means to an end. Because once again, that is the human mind. That's where our love of time really sits, is in the mental realm. That's us sticking a timestamp on it and trying to condense again, skip over, half-ass the process by looking at the two bookends, beginning and end, and saying, can't we just merge these things together? Like, do I have to go through a whole thing? And Spirit's like, the process is meant to be blissful. Spirit didn't say pleasant. It said blissful. Different. Bliss can include pain. Bliss can include sorrow and suffering. Bliss is an underlying understanding and knowing that all suffering, pain, grief, devastation is adding something. It is not wasted. It is essential. It is part of the soul's expression. But the process, the time, it's meant to be blissful. The practice, the evolution, the experience, it's the soul's desire to play. It's the soul's desire to explore the entire spectrum of emotion, experience, ranging from highs to lows to just mind-numbing nothingness. Why am I here? An entire prolonged existential crisis. All of it is the seasoning on the experience of life. So Spirit wants us to know that however trite and quaint and cute and quirky it may be when someone who's touched the divine says, you're part of the whole, you're part of everything. They just did their first DMT and they're like, man, we're all alien gods. Spirit's like, yeah, I know. But don't force yourself to try to get away from yourself when you're here to be yourself. Whatever the hell that means. It's you discovering you slowly. So grace, beautiful soul, give it to yourself. If we're going to sprinkle it on, we just take the top off and dump the entire thing. Grace. It is meant to be a journey. Every individual has a different point at which that remembrance is going to hit. And they're going to be like, oh my God, I'm part of it. I've been part of the divine the whole time. I am the divine. All in good time. All in good time. Spirit is never any further away from any of us than any others of us, just because some have had a moment of remembrance and others have not. Spirit is equally close to every single beautiful soul. And the way you access spirit may be different than the way another beautiful soul accesses spirit. And spirit says, exactly. Now you're starting to get it. Diversity. Let them all be expressed to the fullest extent of their unique differences. That is spirit's goal. So with that, beautiful soul, I set you free to go express, discover, play, curiosity, practice, create one. Start a little meditation practice if you're into that sort of thing. Links down below. You have a destination, but you can access that destination in every moment by extending grace to yourself. You don't have to wait to get to the end. The bliss is here now. The bliss is knowing that you're here for a purpose and you're fulfilling that purpose effortlessly. So make it fun because you deserve it. I'm sending you all the love I've got, beautiful soul. More, more, and more. Never less. Because you are so very worthy of it. Bye for now.